Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Thursday, Unemployment Thursday. What else is going on today? NVDA earnings yesterday, saving the market. Good morning, Sterling. Sterling putting in the jobless claims. Nothing shocking with that. We had continuing jobless claims at 1794K, initial jobless claims at 215K. Nothing out of line there. So no need to talk. This was interesting though. Chicago Fed National Activity Index in contraction. In contraction again. What else do we have going on? Let's see. I had to adjust my camera again. Uh, I don't need to talk about Yellen. I don't need to talk about Bank of Japan, although we have not been showing you the Japanese 10-year yield back above 1. Barely, but back above 1. Keep an eye on Japan, even if you don't trade it. I think Japan's going to get really interesting. Really interesting. What else do we have to do today? Let's get to the good mornings. Good morning, Ro. Hey, Richard. Aren't you glad I'm out of Chicago? I am extremely glad I'm out of Chicago. I am extremely glad, especially what was it yesterday? What's the term now? Illinois just passed a bill to change the word offender to justice impacted individual. So no longer are you a criminal or an offender, you're a justice impacted individual. I have nothing more to say. So, I guess if you're a bad trader or investor, you're a loss impacted investor or something. I don't know. I mean, come on. Come on, please. You combine that with no is cashless bail. You know what? Okay. Why even bother? Why even bother? Good morning, Patrick. Uh, Bank of Japan's Governor Ueda. I don't see any fresh risks regarding overseas economic outlook. Oh, boy. Keep an eye on Japan. That's all I got to say. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Legion Reaver. Hello, Charles. So, I liked Outlaw. Oh, everything is absolutely insane from my viewpoint. But doesn't matter how I look at stuff. That's why we look at the markets both ways. What else do we have coming out at 9:45 Eastern? We have the S&P Global Composite Manufacturing and Services number. All expected to be still in expansion, although the manufacturing just teeting with contraction. So do keep an eye on that. Do keep an eye on that in just about 40 minutes, right after the cash open. We have Kansas City Fed, expected to still be in contraction. We have some 4-week and bill week auctions coming up today. I just rolled some more into T-bills. We got the 15-year and 30-year mortgage rate. And to end the day, we got Bostic speaking. Thank goodness. What would be a day without some Fed speak? And then tomorrow, pre-market, we have durable goods. Durable goods pre-market tomorrow. S&P, party on with the chips. Give me some dip because I need those chips. The 10-for-1 split, I think that's one of the key things that's driving that. But my gosh, it's just so reminding me of 99. Sorry, it's not exactly the same, but it's really rhyming. It's rhyming. Until something happens, though, what's the trend? The trend is up. Again, you don't try to top ticket. You just keep watching what could tip it over. So, other than that, you trade with the trend. The other mega caps in sympathy running up with NVDA. Oil putting in a little bit. So much bad news for Tesla out of China, and it's still up. Oh, it's buy. Just buy. I mean, that's what the market's saying. Just buy everything. Technology, energy, consumer cyclical, comp service, everything up except for utilities. Fed watch tool. We're at well, I mean, it's a lock for June 12th. We got the Fed pause. It's pretty much getting the lock territory for July. By the way, the FOMC meeting minutes yesterday, I thought were pretty hawkish. And we had a quick little sell-off, but then it's buy it. Buy it. Any little sell-off. Dow hit the double target. Buy it. Buy it. That's all I got to say. Buy it. That's not investment advice. I'm not telling you to buy it. That's what the market's saying. Buy it. September, back below 50. So that's that interesting. A little climb there for the pause continuing in September. I really don't see him cutting in September unless something falls off a cliff drastically. I could still see a cut in November. Fear and greed. In greed is good, according to the market, so we don't need to worry about Schiller PE. I didn't refresh this. Let's see what that is. 34.73. All is fine in nosebleed territory. The market pricing in absolutely everything. We already talked about NVIDIA. Sorry, I had too much coffee this morning. And I was up very early. Oh, way too early. I didn't even look at Snowflake. Anybody have Snowflake? I don't even know what Snowflake did. What did Snowflake dud? Ralph Lauren didn't. Again, there's not much. Not much to talk about in terms of earnings for the rest of the week. All right. Let's get to the important stuff. What are we looking for out of Japan watch? We'll get to that. I'll talk about that. Where am I? Let's get back to everybody. Cops are now justice impactors. Yes, cops are justice impactors. So why do you so many of your I literally all right, Illinois is so people are conditioned in the Crook County area, properly known as Cook County, but really called Crook County, to just vote. I mean, you can't really be a Republican and succeed. People just vote for whatever. Boy, I know I'm not going to. Just let me put it this way. There's might be a lot of money on the North Shore, but there's not a lot of brains, from my perspective. So let's see. We got that one. Good beginning of slide morning. Well, we'll see. Until then, yesterday, little dip to the key support area, to the rising rotation zone, and then, and then off to the races. Good morning, Anissa. TJ Maxx is still pumped to all-time highs. Good morning, Royal Palms. Good morning, John. TJ Maxx is not at all-time highs. I saw the market cap number, but it's still up 3.5% pre-market. All right, thanks for the correction. Sell in May and go away is buy in May and wait for 20K. Coco, good rhyme. Buy in May and wait for 20K. Coco, everybody congratulate Coco on a good stellar rhyme. Sell in May and go away has not held up. I actually talked about that on Ninja. So, there's no sell in May anymore. DuPont is splitting into 3 publicly traded companies, and the market likes it. The market likes everything. Good morning, Heinrich. So, we've come up here. Next, little harmonic, which has been on the 35 35, 50, maybe that's a faux pause waiting to happen. 35, 53.65. Pausing right here. Key support now, very key support, is 53.48 to 53.50. Next target, 53.82. On any pullback, I'd really watch that 58.50. And then you have the next real support isn't back down yet. The Fed volatility yesterday, the FOMC minutes, 53.27, and then roughly about 53.16. Those couple levels the same as yesterday. You see here how spiking down, recovering, could not get a key close below that on the longer term, and then lashing up. Remember, don't just focus on the short-term time frames. Go scan through all your time frames on a regular basis. It'll help you prevent getting caught from my perspective. All right, so we got 53.82 above 53.82. If it keeps on marching, watch the round number 5400, but it's really 5412 is the next key harmonic up. Other than that, I mean, the rotation zone back at 53.15. NASDAQ break into the upside of the shallow wedge, blowing through the next harmonic level. Next target up 19.108, so 19.1, and then you got 19.260. Key support and the NASDAQ all the way back at 18.7. Today, the support level going into the open is around 18.930, and more significant support coming in right around 18.825. The Dow finishing the double yesterday and bouncing, but it's still rah-rah in the S&P and the NASDAQ. Little key resistance I'm keeping an eye on into the open is about 39.850. The support, if it starts breaking down, minor support coming in around 39.8, and then your more significant support coming in about 39.780. Russell, not so much in party mode, trying to hold the bottom of the channel in the rotation zone, but for me, it has to start getting above 21.03 before I start watching the bullish side, and then 21.18 is the next key little level of resistance. The VIX, wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. If anything happens, the volatility crush is going to be, the volatility getting crushed. It's already been crushed. The people trading short vol are going to get crushed if anything happens. Because look at this. I mean, are we going to go down to the 10 handle next? We could. Sell vol, buy it all, remember. That's what the market's doing. Market very, very complacent. Thinking nothing can catch it off guard. Well, we'll see. The DAX, still not been able to get a lot of traction yet. We don't have an official stop decrease. I'm just seeing what the next levels if we right here, 18.835 is key resistance, but again, if you're watching for a little rebound pattern, it still's got to get above 18.876. That's not the official stop level because it did not hit the first target, but in the short term, that's what I'd watch the upside. The notes, not much to talk about. Notes volatility, the volatility in the treasuries has dried up. This is getting very complacent too. The 10-year, I'm really focusing now on the 10-year. If it breaks above 4.46 and can sustain a close above there, going to really make me sit up and take notice. Besides that, we'll be watching for a possible minor pullback. Nothing much to talk about in the 10-2s besides it's breaking down to key support. Dollar index. Watching for this pullback now. And to set up a stronger bottoming pattern with the daily cycles starting to roll over again. So I'm keeping a very close eye on that for a pullback, and then we'll see if we trigger that pullback pattern. Crude holding the key support, still breakdown yesterday, so a lower close, the lowest close in crude since back at 12th of March, but still holding this. And remember, this is a very critical level, a area on that weekly. Keeps dipping between the 50 and 62.5 and can't break down. Can't really break down. I mean, technically, this would be a %B buy, but there's no real target besides 79.58, and that's if it closes follows through with a close above yesterday's high, but the target area is just too gosh darn close. Remember, a trade setup might not be a trade if you can't get proper reward to risk. A lot of people forget that. They just think a trade setup's a trade setup. No, or even a trade could trigger, but might not be executed because there's not proper reward to risk. Gold, the key level to watch for on a closing basis is 2348.6. Gold still rolling over on the daily and still heading down. Now you have this weekly potential double top. That's the only significant medium-term topping pattern. Other than that, the trend is still up even with this pullback. Metals still need to, the silver's pulling back into the daily rotation zone. Might be trying to get a little pop here. I'm still going to be watching for silver to possibly set up a bigger topping pattern and then get a bigger pullback here. Copper confirmed yesterday the double top, which is still technically on the table, but has not triggered it. Catching today on the bottom of the rotation zone and rotating back up. So now if copper rolls over and triggers it, we could be even in to set up for a pullback to 4.5, 450. I mentioned here's the yield. Look at the yieldies. It breached 1. It breached 1. So this is going to put stress on the yen. So I'm still keeping an eye on 157.09. 157.1 really. As we start getting close above there and the yields keep climbing, you can see the yen continuing into weaker territory. Remember, in Yellen, let's give us some warning about interventions. I don't know if she's talking about Japan. Don't know. Remember, who's the largest treasury holder? Who's our largest treasury holder in the world? It's not China. It's Japan. Euro. Euro. Euro, euro, euro. It turned into the channeling double. The rocket ship of the euro with the dollar pullback. Little key area right now is to watch is 108.64. The invalidation point still for the double is 108.72. Spiders, 533.18. Above 532.30. So the double top in the spiders looks like it's going to be off the table. That never triggered. The little minor double top never triggered either. Never even confirmed. So it looks like on this, I'll wait to pull it off until we get confirmation at the open, but it looks like both the double in there's going to be invalidated. Again, never came close. That's why you just keep it in mind. To the upside, the next target is 536.23. Don't object to 536.23. Next minor on any pullback, now your key support's 531.36. The Qs 460.74, 458.41. So it looks like it'll invalidate that double. This other mini double. Goodbye. What are the next key levels on the Qs? Again, 458.41. We're going to open at 460. So we got to do a forward harmonic projection. The forward harmonic projection with this is the stronger pausing bar. So you got 459.87, which would be, this would be my key pullback window between 459.87 to 458.41, and then 465 is my next target based off the harmonics. The good old Bitcoin coming up to 87, pulling back. We still, nothing's changed. If it does break above 73,800 roughly, you have a major cluster at 76. Tesla shrugging off all bad news. Still no close above 187.20. There's not, from my perspective, not much to do. NVDA, we have 10.12 or 10.13 roughly, the next harmonic up, looking to open around 10.15. Significant cluster at 10.46 to 10.50. So that's your next key. Other than that, what's the ratio's proper reward to risk? For me, it depends on the setup and the probabilities. Probabilities and setup are, there's not one magic. I don't like going below 1.2 at a minimum. So, snow missed on EPS and beat on revenue. I'm telling you guys, just trade with the cocoa pattern. Trade with the cocoa pattern. Everything's up in the short term. But beware. Beware. What is it? When life treats you like easy street, there's danger at your door. Everything's being discounted. Doesn't mean it's got to stop. Know where your stops are. The VIX. I mean, this is getting absurd for no fear. Sell the volatility. Buy everything. Which, when life looks like easy street, there's danger at your door. I don't know whose lyrics those are, but probably pretty good. Let's take a look going into the open. Little reversal into the open, actually trading below the little key support level. Wow. Now 53.62. This might turn into sell the news, but really watch 53.48 to 53.50 for the key support area. If this is sort of sell the news after NVIDIA. But that does not do any major technical damage yet? No. However, if we then after NVIDIA take out, especially yesterday's low on a closing basis, keep an eye for a more significant short-term pullback. Other than that, trend's still up. With that, I don't think there's anything else I have to cover. So, I will see everyone tomorrow for a good end of week. Happy Friday. Also pay attention to today's title of the video. And then there was one. With that, I will wrap it up for now. Talk to everyone soon. Well, soon being tomorrow. Bye for now.